Ping v Cobra today, Forge Tech in the Cobra and the Ping i525. Thanks for all the questions, comments in other videos asking me to compare these two. If you want me to compare other clubs, just post in those comments down below and I'll try and get to as many as I can. Let's hit these two up and show you how similar they are, but at the same time, how they might feel quite different. So if we look at the two clubs, what we see is definitely a bit more of a thinner appearing top line on the Ping. So the Ping just has more slender design, I would say, than the Forge Tech. None of them are massively chunky when you look down, but this one definitely in the Ping reflects much more of a bladed feel, even though the other end and the kind of MOI ideas of both of these clubs are going to be so similar. The actual shaping of the club, so toe ends and what have you, are very similar and both very nice looking. Pings have, I've not counted the grooves, but they look like they have more grooves on it. You can really see how tight the grooves are, a bit more spaced out on the Cobra. And you do see that when you look down at the ball. The Ping is kind of more of a, like all the grooves start to blend almost because there's so many of them, where the Cobra you do see the more score lines. That's not a positive or a negative, it's just a point that I see. Definitely a little bit slimmer looking in the Cobra. Cobra also has Arcos in the top. I know Ping also work with Arcos, so I don't know if these come with free sensors or not. That's something you'd have to go on the website and check. Arcos allowing you to collect data with your new clubs in theory. Right, we've got the Forge Tech up first. So both of these clubs really are following a similar brief, trying to look good but deliver. I mean, they're going to be strong and powerful, lofted, but at the same time delivering a little bit of help. Let's see how the Forge Tech comes out in its sounds and feels. Does feel great, this club. It's a medium sound, so it's not as soft as all your forging kind of ideas, but it's certainly not loud and tingy. You know, for all intents and purposes, this is a power bat. It's a game improvement club, but it does trick the eye because you've got this solid back, even though it's hollow in there, which we'll talk about the tech of the two clubs soon. You know, there's lots going on to try and help you, but from here and in your bag, they'll look quite classic, and from here they look medium classic. Not huge amounts of offset. Blade length is nice, like reasonable. It's not too long. Sometimes these clubs, the blade length can get super long, making them look a little ugly. A little bit toey, that one, slightly pulled, but again, doing okay considering where I hit that. And I can see the distance is flicking up as we go. Like, these are strong, and on the indoor mat, which I've done a video showing indoors to outdoor testing. If you want to look that one up, maybe we'll put that in a link. I know some of the numbers are slightly exaggerated compared to what I might get outside, which we'll talk about. It does amaze me how good this one feels. Like, it's verging on softish. Like, you know, if you're really turned on by something that sounds a certain way, let's say you're transitioning from a classic bladed set that you've loved, but you just want a bit more help, this sound and feel is definitely not going to be the biggest jump. Like, I think Cobra have done really well with the acoustics, then in turn how that club really does feel. Let's compare it up to the Ping. What's interesting with the Ping, where it wins, I think, for anyone who wants slim down, really good looking, like, this has to be the best game improvement iron in its shaved off looks. So for something that's packing a punch in MOI to look the way it does, I don't know there's anything better. Like, but that's subjective to what you want to see. If you want really slender lines, classic looking clubs, but you want help, I think this is a winner. But what contradicts that, which is quite interesting, is the sound is not as good as the Forge Tech. If you want that forgy kind of softer feeling sound, this one does make a more of a clip off the face. So this one does make that kind of more game improvement sound. I guess a little bit more in line with what Ping do, possibly. Looks wise, the Ping is fantastic if you want that style of look. But it does feel firmer, like it's that firmer sound for definite. It feels nice, like it feels great, but it's got more of that kind of harder face feel. Right, let me hit a few more and get the data. We've got a fun game at the end because I can see the numbers on this. These clubs are going. So if you definitely want, you know, 7 irons that go like 6 irons, which I do, this is kind of, both of these is where you want to be. Let's have a look at the tech as I just try and collect a little bit more data. Give you a fair representation of what these clubs can do. So the Ping, to start us off, has a forged miraging steel face, so they strengthen it. Variable face thickness, they're trying to get ball speeds up with that. Extreme weighting, tungsten toe and shaft tip weights combined with dynamic face structure to expand perimeter weighting. So it looks classic, but they're giving it the full Ping MOI treatment. Pleasing sound and feel, they say, polymer precisely injected into inside of the face. Yeah, I mean, they feel great. I think the next generation of these will sound better, I would guess. Micro max grooves, which I mentioned, precision mill groove pattern allows for tighter spacing and geometry, resulting in the average 4 extra grooves reduced flyers. So they're trying to keep the spin consistent in different lies. Preferred styling, which we definitely see. So they're talking about how good it looks. Cobra hollow body design, playable distance. So similar kind of brief. So it's a classic muscle back shape, concealed and unassuming hollow core that delivers low center of gravity controlled distance for maximum playability, is what Cobra is saying. So hollow cavity, it's infused with foam microspheres that fine-tune acoustics and create a softer feel. I agree, I can hear that. It's got tungsten toe weighting, center the CG behind the hitting zone to maximum distance and precision, even on off-center hits, they're saying. Obviously you've got the Arcos in the top as well, giving you the stats. So forged for speed, the first time in a player's iron, a forged PWR shell face expands the sweet zone, so they're working on their face as well to expand the sweet zone. So both clubs packed with tech. So all the tech there seems to kind of play through as what I can see. We'll show you the delivered lofts in a second. That's where the distance basically is coming from. If the delivered lofts from both these clubs is the same, unless there's some crazy different spins, I can't see them going a different distance to each other personally. I think whatever they're doing in the Cobra here, for the sound, like I can hear it. It works, like it's in there and it's definitely playing through in the acoustics of the shot, which I would agree feels nice and good. A little bit of a loose strike, that one. Where with the Ping, I would say everything they're saying in their buff there, their guff, their advertising, their marketing kind of plays through. If you're a sound and feel junkie, I reckon they could do better with the sound and feel of these. If you want your sound and feel to be a little bit more like the forged tech. So again, remember, it's very subjective to what you would want out of your iron sound and feel. You know, I get lots of comments as well from people saying, well, I don't care what it sounds like, and that's cool. If you don't, I wouldn't care what it sounds like if it's Target as well. It's just something that some people will talk about and like they put it down and just go, oh, I don't like the feel of that, where actually it's the audible tone. Ping wins on looks, Cobra wins on sound, stroke feel. I reckon we're gonna be getting very similar numbers out of these, and a fun game to end, I think, will be looking at the distances, just how far we can push these, because if you want power bats, these two are very sexy power bats. I'll show you the numbers. So if we start with the club data, you can see the strikes are very comparable. Club head speed, literally standard deviations overlap those two, they're the same. And the dynamic loft is the same. Like they're exactly the same as a human can get. Paths, angle of attacks, and face angles all the same. So I'm expecting, would I expect, look at that, they're the same, 181 to 180 with 5 and 3 yard standard deviation, meaning they are just exactly the same, which you can see from the two circles here. Spinning very similar, again the standard deviation on these pretty much overlapping. I think if you hit enough shots, these will just settle almost identical. Ball speed's the same, launch angle the same, 0.3 in it, but the standard deviation of 1 and 0.5 is bigger than the difference between the two. Like, you've got sound and feel, and branding, which is going to change your opinions on what you think is better or worse, because they are just pretty much the same club, apart from the Ping wins on styling for me. If I wanted more slender, which I use more this kind of style, so it doesn't affect what I use, but I know from talking to enough people, if they want this, I would pick this one up before this one. If they said they didn't care and they wanted it to feel softer, I would go more for the Cobra. I mean, they are just so close, and that's what's happened so often. If you match your iron, so if I fit them correctly where the dynamic lofts are the same, then they come out the same. What's interesting on this as well, which I always think is interesting in comments, I'm not using the same shaft in these, but you could see identical my delivery was on those two clubs. if I put the exact same shaft in, the numbers would stay the same. So that comment always I find a little confusing. Shall we have a bit of fun to finish? Can we find a winner? Should we push you? Let's push me and push them to see just how much help they can give us, because when I'm pushing myself to the limit, we might start using a lot more of the face. Right, St Andrews, 202 to the flag over the road hole bunker. It says 7-iron on the bottom. We're gonna call that a 7-iron. Nearest the pin, Cobra to start. Nearest the pin. Nearest the green. I'm gonna have to give this a what for. Prepare for some mishits. Right, that's gonna miss the bunker. Oh, I'm gonna be close. I reckon only one of these is gonna get there. I am having to smash these. 186 carry, and we are to the pin, 13 yards. That was the Cobra. Right, ping. Again, equally as hard. Might have to move the pin to like 195 for this actually to be a game. Ah, slightly toey. So you can see it turning a bit more, but again, look, I mean, that's a pretty average strike, and that is carried very well. And this is where these clubs might play through over time. So what's that carrying? 187, and I towed it. That is to the pin, 19 yards, 1-0 to Cobra. That was more my strike and the turn. Right, in the comments down below, do you reckon I can hit this green from 202 with a 7-iron? I'm saying no. Same a bit more right for the hard ones, which I tend to pull. Ping to kick us off, 1-0 Cobra. Right, hit it. Right, I've started that better. Are you gonna fly the bunker? Oh, go, 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 go! Oh, it nearly made it. Oh, come on. 19 yards to the pin, carrying 188. That's 93 mile an hour club head speed for me with a 7 is getting there. Oh, that needed like 0.5 millimeter more towards the middle, and that was there. Again, starting it out to the right, 19 yards to beat, 93 mile an hour. Can I get faster than that with a 7? Oh, that's a toe. It's gonna do all right, it's a toe. So yeah, look how much shorter that's coming up. There you go. This is again like, so as I try to hit him this hard, you can see my strike really starts to jump around. Now that one's only carrying 180, 179. That's 18 yards of the pin, but I'm giving that to the ping. It was a better shot, so that's 1-all. So decider, Cobra to start, 93.5 club. Get quicker. Come on. Come with your microspheres, sounds and faces. Get me there. Do set these challenges up to fail, don't I? Right, here we go. 7-iron, 202, wallop ball. No, I finned it. Direction was, that might hit the green because there's a lot of green short right. But it ain't gonna be, I mean, that's a safe approach, isn't it? 177 carry, so again, I mishit that. And that's 77 foot. 94 mile an hour, so I went quicker. So there's my strike for the last one. Ignore the driver animation because it's strike. It's interesting as well. Look how towed down I am now with my new action. I could go for upright clubs if I wanted, but again, I don't find that affects my direction at all. I just work that in. But a low tow, you just move that up with that speed, and we're there, aren't we? But I feel by pushing myself to the limits like this, it's reflecting maybe a little bit more what you might be doing when you're testing, which is hitting definitely more parts of the face. To be fair, when I'm not pushing myself with speed, I'm hitting more parts of the face as well. Right, last shot, 77 foot. Here we go, ping. You were the closest, can you? Smash it out to the right, smash it back. Oh, I didn't get all of it. It might be closer just by default if it misses the bunker. Definitely, yeah, that's lucky. I'm going to call that a draw, but I mean, the pinger's 1-1 up there because that's going to be 25 foot. But that wasn't a great shot. Not much in them at all. Which one would you choose and why? I think they're so close. The bigger problem for all of us, me particularly, is that green is too far away. Yeah, I'm still trying to hit it with the wrong club. And if you think about it, it says 7 on the bottom, but it's actually really, isn't it? What do you think it is? Is that a 7? Or am I actually really, I haven't, have I? Oh, yes. 200 yards rather than 202 next time might be an idea. Which one would you choose and why?